What is up, Honey Badger Nation? This is John Kitchens, and welcome to episode 180 of Expert Mentors Live. We've got the one and only Tina Caul on with us. What's up?
What's going on?
We were just sitting here shooting the shit, talking business for the last 10 minutes. I was like, we might want to go live.
I could talk about business all day long. It's so
all day long. We were rapid. We covered a lot of ground in a short 10 minutes. Oh, that was awesome.
You're a good coach, John Kitchens.
Well, I appreciate it. And thank you so much for making the time and jumping in. And, you know, we've had some great conversations on Expert Mentors in the past. Like I said, we're up to episode 180. And I know I get from some honey badgers, right? They'll dive in. They're like, hey, I need training, overcome, my confidence, what do I need to really do? Okay. And maybe I'm thinking about moving into a new market, or, hey, this feels like a new market. And, point them in the direction of our previous conversations. And then they come back, they're like, oh my gosh, Tina's amazing. I was like, I told you. So I know today's is not going to be any different. And we're definitely taking a little bit of a different path today, a little bit of a different conversation, because a lot has changed for you since even the last time we had you on Expert Mentors. So give everybody kind of a rundown over the last 18 months of just how much has changed for you.
Yeah, a lot has changed. I feel like I'm on, super speed right now with just business. Things are going good, and it's like when they're going good, you're like, okay, what's about to go wrong, right? But yeah, things are going good. Our team, which is my baby, right? Our call group team is growing. Last year, we had 25 agents. I've been out of production for probably about 18 months, which has been wonderful and freeing. They sold 515 units last year, and then we're able to scale even bigger. And now we're like 52 agents and tracking for about 1,000 transactions. So we're excited about that. We're excited. We got a good leadership team. We're jumping into, just making sure the right people are on the right seats on the bus. And then as far as the recruiting thing, that's grown. Last year was my best recruiting year. I brought over almost 80 people and that in my front line. So I figured something out last year that I didn't figure out quick enough the first and second year. And so now we're scaling outside of our community. And so I wanted to share a little bit about what I learned today from that recruiting standpoint, because our team, our Freedom Builders group, which is, a smaller group of honey badgers, is grown to almost 1,000 agents. We'll hit 1,000 agents, I think, next month.
That's so cool. So congratulations. It's as you were saying that, and I was just kind of thinking back through the evolution of real estate and, the brokerage to the teams to, now the mega teams. I remember, as a team, it was, it was a milestone to do $1 million in revenue. Yeah. And then, then it was like, hey, 1,000 transactions. And then, so it's just cool to see, how everybody is just pushing each other to just go bigger, do more. And like you said, you figured something out the last 18 months versus the first 18 months. And so, yeah, if you don't mind, let's jump in and chat about that a little bit. And, maybe share a little bit of the lessons learned over the first 18 months that kind of led into, what you uncovered here the last 18.
Yeah. So, well, I think, when I joined this firm, you're just a little apprehensive. You're like, yeah, it's too good to be true, but let's just see if it is. You're trying to figure things out. The first 6 months is just kind of a shit show, to get your team in balance and the new brokers and all the paperwork and all the stuff. And I think my first lesson, my first year, and again, people are like, oh my God, you're one of the best recruiters. I really wasn't. I sucked at it. I recruited one agent a month my first 8 months here, which I wouldn't say that's a great recruiter. I just talked to one of the KW recruiters. She has a minimum standard to bring on 15 people and 2 cappers every month. So I'd be fired at any other brokerage in North America. So 1 agent a month. I wasn't very vocal about EXP. I did, spread the joy of, hey, I'm at this company, but I wasn't very intentional with it. I just kind of would sprinkle it here and there. Never picked up the phone, never called anybody. It was more social media based, sort of like GoGo, right? We're on social media. Yeah. People reach out to her. She says that all the time. People were reaching out to me, but not in droves. The second year, it was an average of 1.5 agents a month, which is, decent for EXP, right? So the Rev Share, the first year was 2,500, second year 12.5. So that was growing. And it's like, okay, I better get a little more serious about it. The third year, last year, we really were intentional with inviting people to events, inviting people to mastermind calls, inviting people to our office. We constantly were in front of people, belly to belly. And so just like when we talk about leads, right? Regular leads on a team, your best conversion is going to be when you're in front of that human, of course. Your second best conversion is when you send them a video. The third is going to be a text. The fourth is going to be an email. And the fifth is going to be snail mail, right? So it was sort of the same thing. It's like calling agents and being like, watch this video, and we're watching them together. To me, it was sort of like, how do I get in front of people and make a connection? And so the minute I came to EXP, I was one of these agents that hated the send the video, watch the Brent Gove presentation, even though I loved the Brent Gove presentation. I loved it. I watched it. I'm like, I get this in 2 seconds, but it wasn't in me to send it to someone and make them watch it. So I know that the majority of agents watching this feel the same way. They don't want to be recruiters. They want to come from value. That's why they're in real estate. Yes, some are high Ds and they're the hunters. Fine. That they don't want relationships. They just want to go out there and kill and bring back the business. But most of us, the I's and the S's, and, we want to have a relationship with our customers, and we're good at that. So I would say that when I looked at my whole organization, out of, 1,000 people, 10 are hunters, that really get it, that want to just get out there and they'll cold call. The rest are, like me, they don't want to do that. So from the first day that I joined EXP, every Friday for 34 months now, I have had a little mastermind at my office at Fridays at 11 o'clock every single week. And I'm so passionate about agents getting off their butts and doing this, because in any town USA, you can take over your market by doing this. That's how I got recruited to Keller Williams. They kept bringing me to these little events, and I'd be like, wow, these people seem, they seem fun. They're collaborating. They're not doing that at Remax, So it was that same method of like bringing them in, teaching them something, and not talking about EXP. So EXP was never brought up in those meetings. That was a mastermind. I'm inviting you to a seat at my table. This is what we talk about. We're production focused first, because most agents are not sitting at their desk hoping John Kitchens cold calls them. They're indifferent about being recruited. They just want to sell more homes. So my job is, if they just want to sell more homes, I'll freaking teach them how to sell homes. And then one day the light bulb's going to go off, because they're going to be at EXP selling more homes, being in our culture, and go, oh yeah, there's this recruiting thing I can do to actually get financially free. And so the methodology was, how do I get my agents to start inviting, my agents to start looking at every human that they're talking to as a lead? And so like right now, we have, every time one of our listing agents has 14 contracts that come in, well, she's got to send 13 no's. What was she doing before? Sorry, you guys didn't get it. Blanket email. Now it's a little different. She's going to make a phone call to every single one of those agents. Hey, John, it's Tina. This is the call. I wish you were the one that got it, but I got to make 13 of these calls. My seller decided to go with another one, but you were so close, and you put so much heart into this deal, and your buyers are lucky to have you. Where'd you learn how to sell real estate? Because you've just been awesome. So you give them a great compliment, and then they usually say, I just learned myself, or they feel like so honored. The fact that a listing agent in our market will call you, like that in and of itself is shocking.
That is a shocker.
In any market, right? Because the market's crazy. So the fact that the listing agent is paying attention to you and actually calling you, and then when the agent says, well, thank you, or whatever, just be like, hey, listen, I know I couldn't get you this deal done, but us agents, we're struggling out there. I get it, man. Like you are probably, knee deep in all these buyers and no listings. I have the secret group. We meet every Monday at 1:00 and we talk about how to get deals under contract every single Monday at 1:00. I would love to invite you to that call because this month, so I don't care if it's March, April, May, June, or July, this month, we're opening up that group for individuals like you that, just need help in the market. And so I'd love to expose you to my group of peers. We're big thinkers. We're hard workers. This is not a recruiting thing. There's no recruiting talk on this. This is all business. Here's the link and you just send it to them. So out of the 14 people that my agents will send that to, 5 will show up on the call. And then those 5, because we're talking about business only, and there's 400 people on the call, they usually text the agent and go, this is freaking phenomenal. So it's that first exposure to, oh, there's actually real estate agents that are really good, that are accountable to one another, that get together every week to share their playbooks. Like that's wild. So that's it. I mean, there's no secret to it. It's like, it's getting in front of them, having a conversation, and then inviting them to something of value, not saying, oh, John, have you heard about EXP? Yes, I have, from 52 people. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pyramid scheme. So I think when you come from a genuine place, my job is I want to expose them 3 or 4 times. By the 4th time, they're asking us how they joined the company.
Yeah, I love that. And what's different now versus 3 years ago when you came on is that everybody's heard about EXP now.
Everybody.
So it's different, right? The things that we could get away with or the things that we could do or needed to do 3 years ago, it's not the same today.
No, the lunch and learns are dead. Like, I mean, you can have them, but if you're that agent that every week at McDonald's, you're having a lunch and learn, like it's almost becomes a joke. If you're going to have a lunch and learn or a brunch and learn or whatever you're going to have, like bring some dynamic speakers, bring some value. Like I have to leave them with value. My job is when they walk out of the room, they're inspired. Now, does it mean that I can't have EXP conversation? Absolutely. Because whenever I'm presenting, I'm having a leverage conversation. I'm literally opening up my net worth and going, here's what I make in I have 9 ways to make money now. And I show them, like I just recruited a really great agent because he said, at first I was like, wow, she's really like showing us her stuff. And then I texted my wife a picture of it and went, no, she's the real deal. Like most coaches or most people that are telling you how much money they make, that's fine. How much did you keep and where did you invest it and how did it grow?
That's it, 100%.
Yeah. So I think that's where we're really hitting them hard is, hey, we're authentic. I'm really trying to help agents. I don't need to work anymore. I get to. And so that's the mentality. And so they're more just open to receiving, like, I want to be around these people and I'm going to grow when I'm around them. So that's our way of recruiting, just inviting to events. And, people say, well, but it's not like this in Kentucky. I have like 500 agents in my market and I'm newer. I'm only 2 years in the business. Okay, well, why can't you have, you're 27 years old. Why can't you have a millennial mastermind? Invite every single person in your age group to a mastermind every Thursday at your local, whatever, mortgage loan officers, title company every week and talk about the offers that you received, how much over asking you had to go on all the deals that you just closed. Invite every agent that you've had a contract with in the last 24 months and throw a party for them. How about that? We're celebrating you that we all survived in this market. Let's get together and have a party and my lender's going to throw it for you guys. Like, be creative about getting community together because this is the one aha as well. Most of my agents on my personal team, they love our team. They love the community, the camaraderie, the coaching, the mentorship, the accountability, the admin, the clout that they're number 2 in the market, all the things that they love. Most agents are running an independent broker shop where they wear all the hats. They're lonely. They're struggling. It sucks out there. They just want to join a team, but they don't want to pay 50-50 splits. So EXP for them is like joining a family. They're joining a community. And if we can just show them that they can join and get a lot of value just in their growth of their revenue, not the rev share and stock, the revenue, just by the knowledge they're going to learn, plus the passion that's going to be reignited. Then after a month or 2, they figure out EXP rev share because we're pounding them in the group how to do it. and we're inviting them to financial talks, so they're like, oh yeah, I want to learn how to be financially free. Oh yeah, recruiting. I can do that here. I forgot.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you had said something I want to kind of go back to, and I want everybody, because I think there's some gold here. I want you to unpack it a little bit. You said, I don't have to work anymore. I get to.
Mm-hmm.
Was mentally that shift for you what changed everything? Because I know we had kind of thrown here in the title, the creepy recruiter.
Yeah.
And to me, creepy is desperate.
Yes.
And so when you mentally, even if you still had to work, but mentally you reframe it to,
Mm-hmm.
I get to do this every day. This is an honor, a privilege. I get to do this, even if you have to do this.
Right.
Is the mental shift the most important thing first?
Yes, because here's the other thing. When I was coming over to EXP, I was about to buy a Keller Williams brokerage. And when I looked at the books and the fact that that brokerage had, massive attrition, I had to get up and recruit every day. So whether I needed to work or not, if I was going to go into that model, I had to recruit every day. It was something I had to do. Today, at any level at EXP, you don't have to recruit a single soul.
Nope.
You get to share with them a life-changing opportunity. If you want to share, if you're a nice, kind person, you want to share. So when I look at it that way, I am so thankful that I'm recruited. I'm so thankful that Michelle didn't give up on me and she called me for 2 months straight, even though I was calling it a pyramid scheme and all the things, and I hated the logo and all the crap that comes out of our mouth. I'm so thankful because it changed my life from a financial perspective. I made a lot of money and I had a lot of money when I joined EXP, but I didn't have passive income at the level that I do now. I mean, to get 50 grand, 60 grand a month just rolling in gives you this really freeing superpower. And now it's like, whoo, that's cool. You can do that faster than I did is the point. It took me till year 3 to really get good at every single human that our team and any agent runs into. You have to figure out how to grow a relationship with them. I mean, when you do a party for your community and you meet new neighbors, you don't immediately pound them on their home. And if they want to sell, you're going to try to be like, what? You're going to forward them, right? Family, occupation, whatever. So you're going to get to know that human and then you're going to drip on them. So for me, the first contact with an agent, I'm not going to invite them to coffee even. I'm just going to try to have just a deeper conversation over the phone, just to act like I care. And then the next go round is, hey, Alex, a week ago we closed on that home. I just, I send them a little note card or something and then invite them to your mastermind, invite them to, it's harder because of the honey badger thing. Like when we are virtual, to invite to a meeting on Zoom is great. But if you're in your local market, what I'm saying is grow local, grow fast locally. Like, yes, you can try to expand and go to every state and have an agent in every state. But what about your state? I mean, we have 600 of my 1,000 agent group here, like right in Raleigh. Yeah. We had a kick-ass party because they're all here. So we can have events, we can have galas. I have lenders that are frothing at getting in front of our group, right? Because they're right here.
Yes.
So it's a different power when they're local. And then they're still going to be expanding. I mean, we're in 40 states and in I don't know, a couple countries now, but local is huge. Like you're going up against those local brokerages and you're going to bleed them of their people if you create an awesome community.
Yeah. And unpack what community means to you. Cause I want to get clear, I get frustrated with the way people just loosely throw words around, right? They loosely throw around mastermind. They loosely throw around coach. They loosely throw around things. So let's get everybody on the same page. Cause I think what you're doing is obviously the results speak for themselves, but I love what you're doing because you're changing lives and you're changing the local community that you live in. You and your family live in, and you're having a tremendous impact. You're making that dent locally.
Yeah.
So what does community mean to you?
So for me, it's same thing on my team, right? We have core values on our team that were my core value. When I started Call Group, it was me and then Kevin, right? So I always knew there was a vision that we would be a group. I didn't want it to be the Tina Caul show. So that was my vision for it. Same thing. When I joined EXP, I was part of Honey Badgers. I was part of Fast Forward Movement. they didn't speak to me because the honey badger was creepy to me. It was like this creepy creature. You know, I was like, that's not my thing. Even though I love the group and leverage the group a shit ton. I was like, what am I looking for? What am I trying to give to my agents? My agents, you know, are sharing the business with me and I'm sharing with them and we're splitting 50-50, but they never had ownership of my team. I couldn't give them stock. So I was good financially. I had the life vest on, they didn't. And so for me, that was their gift. Now, whether they take it and run with it, that's their problem. But I'm giving them as a leader, I'm not holding back information that could empower them. So freedom builders, like we do a hashtag FB Life. It's freedom. We're looking for financial freedom while we're building our business. We are leveraging our systems, our tech, and our people. So those are the 3 leverage pillars. I always talk to people about their systems, their tech, and their people. So we leverage, we innovate, we fail forward, because if you're not failing, you're not winning. You're going to fail over and over, and therefore you win. And we're evolving. That's what the E means. We're always evolving. We're never stuck in a rut. We're going to pivot. We're going to shift. That's what EXP is all about. We're evolving. So FB Life, Freedom Builder Life, is the community. We believe in that collective mission. So we come from abundance. We have agents in our group that every week we have 3 masterminds in town every week. So these are agents that are not benefiting for people in my downline, but they're still giving back to the group because that's what the abundance mindset creates. So it is a community, and it's how I would want to run my office, my brokerage, if I owned it.
Yeah. It's kind of the whole same concept, you know, when people start like Facebook communities, and I'm like, man, it's not a community if you're the only one depositing value. It has to be an interaction. There has to be conversations. There has to be questions. And, you know, for us, the first thing that, you know, that was the Honey Badger Nation, the Facebook group. That was mine and Jay's first experience of a true community that we started from scratch.
Yeah.
And, you know, where are we at? Almost, you know, over 10,000 in that group right now, which is just bonkers to even think about. And, you know, I love what, you know, obviously what Kyle and Dan have been able to do, and Mary, and then yourself as well. It's continuing to take and build your own communities. And you're even taking it into just dominating on a local level, and then being able to help, you know, those that come in. You said something, I was just kind of chuckling to myself, just because I could see some real estate agents out there. If you're going to give a compliment, make sure it's a genuine compliment to these agents.
Yeah. Don't be like, wow, you wrote such a pretty offer. Yeah.
You're great.
Yeah.
So no, that's so spot on. So I mean, I love the whole concept. I love the idea. Where did you start getting some examples of success? Like, you're like, oh, Kev, we're on to something here. This is starting to gain some traction. This is working better than what it did, you know, with us doing this. Was there something that kind of like, hey, okay, we're on to something?
You know, I think for me, it was the consistency. It was getting the buy-in from the agents in my group to start inviting. So it was like, they were inviting people to the events.
How did you do that?
Well, we were consistent. They could count on us. So we have, so every week an email goes out, every Friday an email goes out, and it gives them the list of events next week. It gives them a little coaching corner. You know, we're rah-rahing the group. We're keeping them together. So then another reminder email goes out on Tuesdays, because we've got Sunday, we've got Monday's mastermind group, which is Dan and Kyle. I'm going to leverage the crap out of, you know, this show, your show. You know, we put these things in here, Dan and Kyle's. Wednesday, one of my partners, April, does an event every week. She does KV core training and buyer agent representation. Thursday, starting tomorrow, we have a 6-week agent attraction course to teach them scripts and dialogue, but they have accountability. I'm like, don't show up if you're not going to do it. You have to do it. So it's, I look at it as running my team. It's the same thing. You know, Mackenzie, who's amazing, runs my call group team. And, you know, and I'm in there, you know, a couple days a week with them. And then I get to run our Freedom Builders group. It's the same thing. It's just corralling people, getting them excited, getting them to events. So we have contests, you know, try to get them to events. We had in Cabo, we had 31 people that showed up. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
So we rented them a yacht. So like every year, they know if you get to Cabo, you might get on that yacht. Well, now if we get 40 people that come to Cabo, or 50, I can only put 31 butts on that yacht. So you have to qualify to get on the yacht, and little things like that. So they are excited about what the group offers. And then one more thing before I forget is I'm seeing now my leaders in other states, they're actually duplicating this. They're on social media every day, like Kelly Brown Holmes. Go follow her in Minnesota. She's crushing it. She has 140 people on her social media lives. And so these agents are now following Kelly to a fault. She edifies me. So then they'll jump into my Instagram and, and I can see if they're from Minnesota, they're probably from Kelly. So then, of the agents I recruited last year, 30 I tucked under my leaders in other states because they're working. So I'm not going to hoard them all for myself. I want the agents that are going to be there. I'm fine to make them second level as long as my leaders are working and swimming towards the boat. I'm fine to do that.
No, I love that. And it's it is so important to make sure, for everybody listening, that you're doing things that duplicate. And because you want to be able to do things, and remember, people are going to recruit how they were recruited.
Correct.
And so you've got to be really, really intentional, really mindful of that. And you look at things, hey, does this scale, or am I playing hero?
Right.
And hey, there's some great heroes out there. There's nothing to knock what the, the hero ball, the things that they've been able to do, but you've got to, at some point, you got to get to there. Okay. Hey, is this duplicating? Can what I'm doing now, will it duplicate so my people can get their head around it? They can actually execute on it so they can recruit. So it just kind of continues to trickle down. And your whole, what I gather, and this is, obviously having, the opportunity to know you over the last 3 years, but you always lead with value first. And I think that's so important. And remembering the whole, story brand concept of, hey, we're not the hero. We're just the guide in this journey.
Right.
And I'm just providing opportunities to connect, because that's what you're doing with the events. You're giving people the opportunity, like you said, belly to belly, to connect, to be able to then have a much more significant impact on them and really find out what they're trying to accomplish, so you truly can step into that guide role and help them get to where they want to be.
Well, and I think the hard part about that is, in the beginning, I was leaning on me. Everyone was bringing everyone to me. And so they wanted to join because they wanted to be part of our world and what I could bring them. And so I had a fear. I talked to Gene Frederick about that. He's like, you can't duplicate you being the hero, or you being the one that's going to be the mentor coach. And, he almost tried to steer me away from that. I'm like, that's how I need to do it right now. But in the last 15, 18 months, my leaders, so the ones that I saw that were recruiting, I make them lead events. I make them do events. It's their face on stage. They've taken the stage and taken it and ran with it, and they get it. I'm like, you can edify me all you want, or Jay or Mike, which I've edified a ton. But at some point, you got to take the ball and run with it. I can't be that. I don't even allow my leaders that have recruited like 5 or more people. They have to do some of the calls. And if they can't get that person the second level, then they can come to me, because eventually you got 30, 40 people. You need to start bringing them. You need to start bringing them in yourself, or it just won't duplicate. So that was a big fear of mine, is it's all on my shoulders,
Yeah. And I think the quicker that mentally you can work through that, for you, it's probably when you started to see the significant jump in your growth.
Yeah.
Is when you started to let go and you got to a point, it's the whole, you can't coach or lead anybody until you coach and lead yourself first. And then we coach and lead others. And then we coach and lead others to lead others. And it's just kind of always been part of our DNA over the last couple of decades of like, and that's what for me, how I like to value people's leadership is how many leaders have they created?
Right. Exactly.
That's kind of that key metric for me that I go to look at. I had Matt Durbin out of Pittsburgh on Power Hour yesterday. And he's another example, right? And I just look at, man, damn, you guys are cultivating some leaders. And same thing for you, right? I see that, and I just see all of the leaders that are starting to step up and grow. And that's a great indication of, for everybody listening in, that's where you want to pay attention. You want to pay attention to the people that are cultivating and creating leaders, because something there is working, and it's definitely worth something to pay attention to.
Well,
So go ahead, Tina.
I was going to say one more thing, talking about leadership. I think the hardest thing about the levels of leadership is a lot of times, for all of us, we're leading our own lives, right? Our children, and then our business, and we're leading our buyers and sellers. Then we start growing a team, and we've got to lead 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, and we're all learning. Then you bring on some management. You're like, oh my God, now I have people reporting to me. I think the hardest part for me was, letting go and then giving somebody the front of the room. Like even on my team, it was the hardest thing sometimes to step down and go, I'm just going to let my team leader run the meetings, and I'm going to sit back here in the back. And now when I sit back there, I'm like, everybody loves them. They're doing a great job. And it's like that proudest moment of like, oh, these people don't even freaking need me anymore. That's cool. Like I want them to need me a little, and like me a little, but they don't really need me. To a sense, right? So, I mean, there's always going to be little nuggets or whatever from just experience alone, but that's a cool feeling. And so I think that's where I'm trying to go now with my EXP team. It's like, okay, guys, let's get going.
Yeah, no, I love that. And there's a couple really good lessons. I mean, Jocko Willink talks about it all the time, right? He's like, when they would go on a mission, he said the best missions are when he said, the only thing he said was execute, execute, execute. That was just the signal to start whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to say another word the entire time, because the team knew their role and they would go execute. But where this concept really came into light for me, where the ahas went off, was in General McChrystal's book, Team of Teams.
Mm.
And he talks about it in that initial invasion. And it was like one of the first times that they had all of the different branches, cross branch, missions and things that they were on. And he was overseeing it. And it was the whole concept of eyes on, hands off. If I could see what's going on, I don't have to do anything. I can just watch. The teams know what they're supposed to do. They're well trained. I just trust them to do what they need to do. If they need me, then I'll step in. But most of the time, they know what they need to do. And I really love that progression. That's where you're at. Mm-hmm. And so, in the beginning, yeah, we have to focus on ourselves. We have to focus on immediately the people around us. But there's always, like you said, the evolve. Mm-hmm. We're always evolving, and we're always evolving in our leadership capabilities. And that's just where you're at. And, for you guys, I know Nick's tuning in here, Nick Good. And you just see, because they've been in long enough, the same time frame as you, they've seen your progression. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's definitely something to pay attention to, something to, look up to if kind of where you're at on that journey. But it's just, it's awesome to see that you're in that role. You're creating leaders and giving them the framework and the tools to run. Can we get tactical for a second? Maybe give some actionable items. So we're doing the invites, you're doing the masterminds. Like, how long are they? What's kind of the structure? What do those look like?
So they're literally an hour. So 11 to 12. They start on time, they end on time. I record them, so we store them and house them for the agents so they can rewatch them, but they're live in person and on Zoom. So our agents are always, the week before, they're like on Instagram, or, hey, Tina's going to be talking about her listing presentation, or whatever the topic is. I have different guest speakers, like Jackie Kravitz comes on and she talks about for sale by owners expired. So whatever that topic is, they know in advance. They have the calendar for 3 months. And then we do interviews. Like sometimes we'll do agent panels, but it starts right there. It's 60 minutes and there's no EXP talk. Unless it's a specific subject about agent attraction, it's all building your business focused. So it's such a safe environment to bring a non-EXP agent, so they don't feel like they're getting recruited. And what happens is they get to actually see that, oh my God, we're physical beings. We're not avatars. We're just talking about selling homes, which is what I want to do. And I really like these people. And then they start seeing their friends from their previous brokerage that are all kind of here, and their brokerage isn't doing this. So the goal is to get them to come back, be really respectful, treat them really great, inspire them. At that time I get the floor. So I'm like, hey guys, if you were here last week, we talked about this. If you didn't get your script book, make sure if you're a Freedom Builder, you've got that. So it's almost like they're not part of the Freedom Builders. So now they want to be, because wait, I want that. I want that. So it's like when I know that there's going to be several guests, And usually we'll have up to 10 new bodies in the office, like 10 people that we have opportunities with to shine. And so they just come in and they just are blown away. I think we have a 90% conversion if we can get an agent into our office.
It's incredible. Is there at some point, do you make an ask, or is it more so that they're inquisitive of, hey, I would like to go a little bit deeper than you, go a little bit deeper with you? What does that look like?
No, because I think that they expect to be recruited. I think a lot of them come in very guarded, like, oh God, I'm going into the lion's den, and so they expect it. And so when you don't deliver on that, the narrative changes in their mind, and so they get to leave. And then, when they want to come back again that second week, because that agent's on them, it's like follow up with your lead. Your leads, leads aren't ready for 6 months. And what do we tell them? Stay ahead of that lead every month, every month, every month. It's the same thing. Most agents aren't ready for 6 months to a year. My superpower is I'm patient, and I'm going to keep dripping on them, and I'm going to keep inviting them to things until they're ready. So I think a lot of us go in for the kill so fast, and it's got to be an evolution of trust and community. And wow, these people really are not trying to get me. They just really, this is their community. And so I'm always kind of, resetting the point of like FB life, and we're about freedom and building our business and leverage. And so I'm giving them that so they can take that with them and go, I want to be part of this cool team. So I'm just selling them on the team concept, and they don't know that we're selling them, but we are. And so, no, I'm not going to go open my mouth about EXP. Now, they usually bring it up. Like after the meeting, I'll hang around. We'll usually have a little treat or whatever. And they'll be like, oh my God, that was phenomenal. I learned so much. I'm like, what was your big takeaway? And then they might bring it up. Oh, we've been watching you from afar, and this is so great. What you built here is really amazing. They'll give you a bunch of compliments. I'm like, listen, come back every week. The goal is for you to see what our community is like, that you don't have to be alone. And so you just kind of let them go, and they're always coming back. I mean, almost every face I see in the crowd now that are my people, they were here at one of these physical meetings and sometimes Zooms.
Do you make them register?
No, they don't even register because it's on the agent that brought them to follow up. So if I know I've invited to her, like I just brought one of our big top luxury agents. She came to 2 meetings. She's already at EXP. We're going to make her announcement next week. So, and we recruited 2 of the agents on her team to EXP. And she's joining under me. She's like, I've been watching you. And I took her out. She asked me to lunch. And of course, the whole time I could tell she was dying for me to bring it up. And I didn't bring it up. And guess who brought it up? Her. And then she said, you didn't bring it up. I said, on purpose. So it's like, and they're waiting for us to do it. Like EXP agents we just can't handle it. Like we just have to say it. We have to say something about it. So
I love that. That's just a great reminder, right? And there's the lesson again, just what we talked about. How you want your people to recruit in the future is how you have to recruit them now. And so don't bring it up. We joke, hey, what's the first rule of Fight Club?
You don't, that's exactly
first rule of EXP. You just don't talk about it. So let me ask you, let me back up, because you had said something in the beginning that you had not been vocal about EXP, but now you kind of are. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, so our market, when I joined EXP, our brokerage of 1,600 brokerages on our broker metrics, we were number 89. Today, we're number 1. So in 22 months, we became one of the top 2 brokerages from agent count, gross volume, and transaction count. So now we're always vocal about it, because we'll have like Compass agents. They'll be like, oh, we're number 1. No, you're not. That's ridiculous. So we give our agents all of the data that they need, like their social posts. Like we will put them in the group and be like, hey, Army, go blast this out. Right. So go show people what we're all about. Go invite people to these meetings. Take a social media post and show them that, a big one was Compass in our area was saying, oh, well, we're Compass. They have 70 agents. We have 1,500 now. So they have 70 agents, and they're talking about their off-market properties and their secret listings between each broker. And so we all came back with, if you're a buyer in this market, you want to work with the brokerage that has 1,400. We're the largest brokerage. So when you want off-market properties, why would you go with a brokerage with 50, 60 agents when you can go with the biggest brokerage in the area and have a plethora of off-market properties? So when you're interviewing a broker, ask how many brokers are at that brokerage. So we're just giving them speaking points to take out to the community to get more buyers and sellers, but also to show other agents at other brokerages, hey, we've got a competitive advantage here.
Yeah. So we're talking about it, but we're talking about it with we're backing it up with facts,
We're
with
backing
real
it up with
data.
facts. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So we're very vocal. We're very proud. I think before everyone was like, oh, I'm with EXP. What? Who are you with? EXP. You know, so you're like, you don't want to say it. Be proud of it, right? Like we're getting, and I think the passion comes through. I think my passion meter has grown. I'm like, no, we're getting to 1 million agents. We're getting to, how could we not?
Right.
Like everywhere there is a physical Remax Century 21 Keller Williams, EXP can literally for $149 put them out of business. Like it's just going to happen. Blue Ocean Strategy. I think you've probably read that.
Yeah.
It's such a great book. And so that's that same, you know, like EXP's swimming in the blue ocean while everyone else is lowering their commissions and just there's blood in the water, but they don't know how to get out of that red ocean. They're just stuck in it.
Yeah. Their models and they're too sluggish and the way that they've, you know, lost control. I mean, they would have to blow up to, you know, tear it all down to rebuild it to even go. And then at that point, you know, what are they going to be able to do? I mean, it's, you know, if you study kind of, you know, how the mighty fall and, you know, they're just not the end of that cycle. And, you know, there's a lot of lessons there that's happening right before all of our eyes, to really just kind of understand what's going. And, you know, we have the belief that they're all coming. It's just a matter of time. And so if you believe that, why would you ever, you know, give up on any agent?
Right.
And I love kind of what you have created, opportunities in the marketplace to create collisions, to create connection.
Yeah.
And you know, people don't leave companies, people leave people. And so people make people moves is what they're making. And, you know, a lot of people, they see the math, they're like, oh, this is it. And then, you know, but very, very few. Most people need to build a connection. They need to have a connection of what they believe and what you believe. And you're able to do that because you're giving them an opportunity to connect with you multiple times every week to hear what you believe.
Right.
And just giving them an opportunity to go deep. So it's
Coach
awesome.
Burt talks about that. I think I took that one. I mean, I took a lot of things from Coach Burt. Love him, but he was saying like, my belief is, and I was like, oh, I need to, because I have my own beliefs. And really one of my issues was I woke up one day and went, wow, I really don't have passive income. I have 10 rental properties that make me 30 grand a year, but I can't live off that.
Nope.
So my belief is that everybody will wake up one day and say, gosh darn it, I wish I had $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month coming in just in case something happens. And I can't do my belly to belly sales.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm of the same belief. Everybody at some point in their life will want that because most of the people that are hearing this, they're, you know, dancing bears, meaning if you don't dance today, you don't get paid today.
That's right.
And so at some point you're going to get tired of dancing.
That's
and
right.
you're going to want, you know, you're going to want that money to come in to where you don't have to go dance right now. You get to, if you want to.
You get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure,
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. So any other key points to touch on around the events and the things that, that you guys are doing that you've learned, like, hey, make sure you do this, right? So you're streaming. So that's, you know, it's not just exclusive to, you have to come, you know, you can't stream. So yeah, I think this is kind of maybe, I'd love for you to touch on this. So they're like, well, if you give them the option, then they won't come. I don't think that's true. What have you found?
I think most will come to the office. You know, the ones that won't come. So I always do a lot of private meetings at my house. I think that's another key strategy. I think I've probably done at my house locally recruiting meetings 133. I mean, a lot. And so they're always, I want every agent to feel special. You know, I don't care if they're a 4-dealer producer and you want them to come to my company. I'm going to outwork every other recruiter in town. Because when I open the door to my house and they walk in and they look around like, oh, this is such a pretty house. You're in my home. There is nothing more personal than that. You're not at my office. This is not a business meeting. This is a life strategy planning session. Here's a cup of coffee in my kitchen. And so most of them have never been to their broker's houses and they've been with their broker for 10 years. So that's huge.
Huge.
Huge. So that's been right there, a very high conversion that you just opened up your home
Yeah.
and showed me who you were. So I think that, so if you have a nice house, you just bring people to your house.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think that, treating them like this is, not like what my company can do for you. It's sort of like, what can you bring to our company? That's what I'm
Mm.
looking for. It's not what can I give you? Listen, everyone's going to get different results here. Where do you see yourself in our company? What can you deliver to our company? That's what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for leaders. And so, when people will say, oh, well, you guys are a bunch of recruiters. Well, actually, what you probably mean to say is we're a bunch of leaders. So the recruiting conversation comes into leadership. When you're ready to lead a team, lead a brokerage, you have to recruit. So it sounds like you're not ready to recruit, which is totally fine because most agents don't. But if you ever do wake up where you want to go into a leadership conversation and a partnership there, I'm willing to have that conversation.
I
So
love that.
do a big takeaway.
Yeah. That's gold.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
One of the things that where most people fail with events, because essentially you're running weekly events and then individual events at the house.
Small events. They are like literally
Small.
Zoom. It's literally my laptop, John, on a box half the time. I just ordered a stupid laptop holder. Me in the front of the room, a bunch of desks and people in desks in front of me, and then the live Zoom that's going on with 40, 50, 60 people on the Zoom. That's it. There's no event. It's just literally a classroom.
Are you providing anything else like drink,
Nothing.
food, nothing?
It is not a wine and dine meeting. This is our weekly mastermind for our brokerage. This is what we do. This is a learning session. It's not a meet and greet, a wine and dine. Like, we got shit to do. We got houses to sell. So I'll be like, all right, guys, go prosper, go sell some homes. You need me. I'm here for you. I'm not like, if you brought a guest, I want to, no, it's like, this is our meeting. You're getting a peek. You're a fly on the wall. And that's what I tell them. Come to our Zoom meetings, come to our office meetings, come be a fly on the wall. Just come see what we're all about. How can you know what we're about when you're an outsider looking in? So I let them peek into our world so they know it's not a scary place.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I think where a lot of agents get tripped up is that, they're investing some money into this.
Yeah.
And, if you're not seeing a monetization strategy, you can't keep doing it.
Right.
So you just took that all off the table. And it's just like, no, just coming in. Hey, we're down and dirty. We're getting right into the weeds. We're going to hit go. We're going to be done. Boom. Let's go.
Sometimes there's bagels. If lenders have gotten smart and they know that's our weekly meeting. So the lenders will pop by and they will bring us bagels or whatever.
Do you let them talk, or do you just like, hey, thanks for coming by?
This is a mastermind. This is not like we know you close deals fast. Congratulations. Like, put your little sign there and that's it. So it's up to them. They can stay. Like, a lot of the lenders will stay and then they'll mingle afterwards. People will mingle a little bit. I might be pulled aside to meet a couple people, the agents that brought a friend. Oh, I want you to meet Sally, where people are kind of standing in line if there's 2 or 3. So I'll try to get to everybody. But the agents that I know, they'll say, like, I think I can get some time with Tina after. If I can get her for 15 minutes, do you want to stay after and talk to her? They know that I'm available. They've already pre-planned that. So they kind of make it like a sporadic thing, but we've already got them in the schedule and it's planned that John is bringing Sally. He's on the schedule literally at 12 o'clock. From 12 to 12:30, I'm sitting with John and Sally. So I can't really mingle with everybody. So because that's a better recruit that wants to meet. So they've got that carved out. But yeah, it's not anything special. But I would get your lenders involved. Get your lenders involved to the point where right now my team call group works with 3 lenders that pay us money, right, every month for marketing. If you think about yourself as a team leader or any agent that's selling homes, you probably have 10 lenders every quarter that have approached you about, partnering with them. So now what we do with them is I sort of flip the script and I'm like, look, I can't partner with you physically, but what I can do is, how many agents do you work with right now physically? They usually say about 10. What if I could take those 10 agents and double their income? Would that help you? Well, yeah, you'd do more deals. How do I do that? Invite them to our mastermind group. Bring them.
Yeah.
You're getting the lenders now bringing people or inviting them and then not showing up. But the lenders saying, hey, yeah, Tina runs this mastermind. So I have all these lenders recruiting for me because when their agents are tired or their agents feel desperate, they want their agents to be trained as well. They want to close more deals. So the lenders are all about EXP. In fact, I have one lender that's like, come speak to our lenders. He put me in front of 150 lenders on the East Coast to talk to the lenders and get them behind so they can grow their EXP,
the many is to the one.
Exactly.
To the many is to the one. That's a fantastic little nugget for everybody listening in. You guys, you want to find ways to grow through multiplication, not through addition.
Right.
If you're trying to grow 1 to 1 to 1, you will run out of daylight. I can tell you from coaching for the last decade, you will run out of daylight. And so you've got to be creative in ways to the many. And this is one of the things that Coach Burt challenged a lot of us coming into the new year was, who are your top blue marlin relationships? And a lot of agents are just trying to build bluegill relationships, small relationships. Who are your top 5 biggest blue marlin relationships that you can focus on this year? That's the many. To the many is to the one. Who is that top man? If you nailed this relationship, it would open up multiple doors for you. And what Tina just shared with all of us is that that's one blue marlin strategy right there. Come back at your lenders. How many are they working with? How can you want to help them? Here's how we can work together.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing I really focus on too is telling my agents, at 2.66 million, you're making that 2,800 or whatever you're making, you're maxed out. So whether they sell 6 homes or 260 homes, you're still going to make the same. So I think a lot of times they get caught up on, I want that big producer. Just go get somebody that sells 5 or 6 homes, get them to 8 homes, they'll get there. At some point, they're going to get there. So just go help people. That's the bottom line.
Well, and like what you've done, you create the space to help more people.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the nugget. That's the nugget is, we all, I believe we all in our heart and in our core, we want to impact as many as we can. Sometimes we just don't have the best strategy to go about it. And we try to do it in a one-on-one, and there's just better ways. And so being able to create an environment that's safe, that people want to come to, that you're able to impact more. And I think the overarching thing here for everybody listening in is, how many weeks in a row, how many months have you been doing this on Fridays?
33 weeks, 34.
It's about consistency. It is about consistency, guys. It's why we're 180 episodes deep of Expert Mentors. It's just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. That's the big nugget.
On my board, John, consistency, ... I love the results.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So any final things to kind of maybe bring this home as we wrap up another fantastic episode of Expert Mentors?
Yeah, I would just say, really change change the words. I always say, change the words. Stop saying recruiters, say leaders. We're looking for leaders at this company. I wish Glenn would come out. I actually texted him and Dave Knort. I'm like, can we just say EXP is looking for leaders? Because that's what we want. We need the leaders. We don't want to call them whales. We don't, top producers. Like, we're just looking for leadership, and leadership can be at any level. I don't care how big or small you are. Right. You're all leading your families. If you are selling real estate in North America or anywhere in the world, you are leading buyers and sellers into buying and selling decisions every single day. You're leading. You're leaders. We need more of them. So I would say change that in your mindset, and I think people will be more open to conversations when you say, hey, we're looking for more leaders at this company. Do you see yourself as one?
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. Absolute gold. Tina, thank you. I really appreciate you. I know you have your hands full, and I really appreciate you making the time, jumping in and adding tons and tons of value as always. And so anything that we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. And for all of you guys listening in, make sure you guys give Tina lots of love, plug in with her and what they're doing. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.